So I would like to start this morning off with recalling what Eric Butterworth pronounced many times, famous Unity minister, that we come here not to worship as much as we come here in worthship. That regardless of our current situation, our past actions or life circumstances, we are fully worthy and capable of receiving all the love, embracing all the peace that we desire here and now. What if all the struggle, all the suffering, pain, conflict in our lives was for our highest good? Imagine that before we came to this life, we'd agreed to be of service. That we'd agreed that the gender we chose and our economic conditions growing up in lives with the two parents or family that helped raise us, the geographical location was all a choice we made for our soul's opportunity to grow and to be of service. How might we see the potential conflicts or hardships in our lives? Often, when we see things in our lives as against us, they become our enemy. I had the opportunity recently to go more in depth with the work of Garry Simmons' Eye of the Storm. He challenges us to claim that no one and nothing is against me. Often it seems like there's things against us. And as I said, we call those things our enemies. It seems as if they are against what we're trying to do. One of my most recent examples is my 2-year-old a couple days ago, just crying and carrying on. And what I wanted to do was just relax on the drive and get in the vehicle, and it sure did appear that he was firmly against that. Earlier in my life, there were people who seemed to be against me, and sometimes it's often hard to pinpoint who's against us because it feels like just about everything might be against us. We have physical limitations or illnesses or get injured, and then we struggle in some other area of our lives, in career or school, and maybe we seem to be struggling as relationships. Jesus gives us a directive, a path, so to speak, when we feel like something is against us. He says to love your enemies. Now that sounds very easy, and he talks that it's very easy to love those who are good to us. But he challenges us to go past that and to see the transformative power that if we love our enemies, they can't be against us. And often when we're not loving our enemies, it's because we see something or someone separate from who we are. And in that separation lies the opportunity for communion. We can take the moments when we choose love to be in communion with one another. But loving your enemies will not always feel good. It may seem difficult at first, but its power is very real. But Jesus continues and says to also bless that against you. When we bless something, we see the good in it. And if for some reason we can't see any good in somebody, we hold the space with the faith in knowing that there is something good in that situation or person. And it allows the opportunity for that blessing to grow. And it provides the opportunity for us to see with new eyes. Because often, if we are focused on what we think is against us, the blessings that are about to or available to come into our lives, we will not see them. But also, Jesus calls us to do good to those who are against us, to those who hate us. Often it's not as clear who is against us. But we must do good in these situations. To do good is to do the right thing. To see the opportunity to be of service. When we see that someone or something is against us, it's because we've forgotten why we are here. Our purpose is to be the expression of God. Who we are is a creative person with infinite opportunities to express that good. So when we focus on the outside, on certain circumstances taking place, we give up our power. We give up our creative flow. But when our purpose in this life is to express our divine nature and our creative nature, those opportunities are always endless for us, always available. Jesus called us to be a new creation, to be born again of spirit. And when that happens, we return to our center. But this is something we have to practice over and over again. Through our interactions with each other, through prayer, through meditation, we return to that place inside us that is always whole, that is always complete, that needs nothing else. And from that place, we can be as Jesus was when he said, "Forgive those because they know not what they do." He was not forgiving those as much as he was releasing himself from any thought that they were against him. Because he knew his purpose could not be thwarted by somebody else or anything outside himself. His purpose was to live his life in abundant love, peace, and service. And nobody can take that away from us. Nobody can be against that. We have a grand opportunity to be the greatest, grandest vision of ourselves in each moment. To be a new creation. To be born again of spirit. So not to have anyone against us or see any circumstances against us is to remember who we are a creative, infinite Spirit. And while we are here, to be the way of God. It is often easy to remember and to ask, either am I the way of God or in the way of God? You can either be God's love, express God's peace, serve for that good, and if you're not, then you are losing out on that grand opportunity to express who you are. I believe that is the good news that Jesus spoke about. That since no one is against us, then everything is our opportunity to celebrate and to live out the glory of God in our lives. So go forth and be the way of God.